So when you make a reputation for yourself as the crafter 3D printer lady, people are gonna go to you to make things for their children. And I was tasked, and I took on this challenge to make an Iron Man helmet for a 12-year-old. I am afraid that this 12-year-old is going to have like Hollywood-sized expectations because I don't think I've really had a helmet that has been absolutely amazing. We're going to do a lot of research. We're going to do a lot of trial and error. We're going to do a lot of sanding to make this helmet smooth and perfect. And we're going to try to make the best helmet that I can possibly make for this child. Let's get to it.
I printed the faceplate and the main helmet piece as two separate parts, and the faceplate is still printing. Hopefully it finishes without failing before I go to bed tonight. So the main helmet printed very nicely overall. There is one main hiccup here in the back, as you can see, that I'm gonna have to fill in. But besides that, the main thing that I'm worried about is filling in all of the layer lines that just come with 3D printing props.
So now that I've sanded a lot of the helmet, I'm going to use acrylic modeling paste and some water to paint on like a thin layer to get into the layer lines. We're going to be doing this a couple times and sanding in between. So this probably looks like a mess after it's all dried, but once we start sanding it and having a couple layers of acrylic modeling paste, it should look much better.
Here is the first round of sanding, and I was feeling very confident sanding, but we're now looking at what it looks like all sanded and seeing these very obvious layer lines here still, we're gonna need some filler primer.
So it's already late, but I'm feeling particularly motivated and I'm out of filler primer. So I'm gonna run to the store.
So 9:30 at night is the time to go to Home Depot. There are so many people who are eager to help you find the sandpaper that is higher grit than 400. And also shout out to the tall guy in the paint aisle who got me 2 cans of filler primer from the top shelf. I am going to let the filler primer sit overnight, and I'm so happy that this finished printing before I went to bed. It's just the supports that look funny. The faceplate itself, I think, is okay. Yeah, it's gonna look so good.
Good morning. So a creator once said in a TikTok video that I once saw that filler primer should like cure for 24 hours before you do anything with it. And it definitely hasn't been 24 hours, but I mean,
I did some quick calculations and concluded it would be fine.
We're just gonna sand most of it off anyways. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus in on it. We have layer lines, especially up here on top. And I really want to get this the smoothest possible. And I don't think that this line here is a detail in the helmet. I think it was the printer. So as I was sanding the helmet, I was thinking, wow, this is going to be a really boring day in my vlog. And then the helmet slipped from my fingers and crashed on the ground.
Hey, Butterfingers.
But at least we were able to confirm that that line was actually my printer's fault and not just a detail in the helmet. Of all the different glues and adhesives that I've tried, this glue right here is probably my favorite. It dries very quickly, but that is why you have to make sure that everything is lined up perfectly, because nothing is worse than having an imperfect print after it has already cracked. And after I put the glue on and it dried, we use some wood filler to fill in everything. Thank goodness I picked up wood filler when I went to Home Depot because it saved me. And then after the wood filler dries and we sand it a little bit, more filler primer. And once that dries, we do it all over again.
Let's go to the garage and continue sanding.
Today's a day that we're going to start painting. And first we're going to start with this gunmetal gray and then cover the spots that will stay gray with this painter's tape.
I am still finding some imperfections as I'm spraying it with paint. The metallic paints are really going to show any imperfections, so I'm trying to really get all the imperfections out of this. But we need to remember, Iron Man wears this helmet in battle, so any like scuffs or scrapes, it's just battle damage. It's just battle damage. I kind of hate it. Okay, now that the metallic paint is on the helmet, I can really see all the imperfections. But like when I put my hand over it, it feels smooth. So I don't know what happened. But anyways, I'm gonna cover up this little piece here that's supposed to be gold, like the mask. And then I'm going to spray this red metal cast over it. According to Frankly Built, you spray this gold, like a metal color, and you spray this over it, and it's supposed to look like an Iron Man mask. So let's try it. We have an Iron Man helmet. There are a lot of layers of paint on here. So I'm gonna take off the tape and pray that it didn't bleed or seep underneath the tape and everything looks okay. I am so happy with how this turned out. The gold part, perfect. On the gunmetal gray, we have some places where the tape took off some of the paint. But maybe I can like dip my paintbrush into some of the spray paint and just go over that. I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy with this helmet. And like I showed you before how on the back you could just see all the imperfections that I didn't sand out. But with the, I guess the brightness of this red, you don't see it. You don't see it. And then I have a clear coat that I'm gonna put over this to make it shine even more. So it's all finished. This is it with a clear coat. It looks so good. Yes. Just because it looks amazing doesn't mean we're finished. Oh. Okay, okay. We need AAA batteries.
So here I didn't like the idea of making them permanent inside the helmet. Maybe, I don't know, they want to be removed or whatever. Anyways, I used Velcro and I stuck it in there and hoped for the best. And it worked. It looks good and you can see through them.
I am so happy with this helmet. This is what the inside looks like. Turn it on. Once this dries and everything, you'll be able to just like clip it right onto the helmet. But this is it. This is my helmet. So thank you so much for joining me. It's definitely a learning experience. I learned so much, and the lessons I would like to take away from this project is to wait. Just have patience and wait. Wait for the filler primer to dry. Wait for the paint to dry. Wait for the top coat to dry. It is not a race. and don't treat it like such. And I'm going to take these patients and I'll bring them into the next project. So if you like cosplay projects and convention vlogs, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like by giving me that external validation that we all so desperately crave. And if you like my Iron Man helmet, feel free to let me know in the comments. See you next time!